Things keep getting crazier. Following the Lakers making arguably the biggest trade in NBA history, some new details have been revealed behind the trade, behind Rob Pelinka's decision regarding it, and also who was involved in the trade prior to it being made. We have some shocking details to go over today, as this is still the craziest situation I've ever seen. We're going to break all that down in this episode, but before we get into it, if you're a part of the 86% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. There's going to be tons of videos coming, so if you want to support us and you also want to keep up to date with all the latest Lakers news, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But Hunter, there's a lot to go over today. Some crazy details have been revealed, not only surrounding the trade, surrounding the Mavericks plan, but also Rob Pelinka and what he was thinking, who was involved prior to this call being made late Saturday night. And we'll also get your thoughts, of course, on the deal. But let's just start with this. We have news dropping by the minute, so we're going to break this piece of news down first. So after the Lakers and Mavericks agreed to a deal late Saturday night, Rob Pelinka made 3 calls in quick succession, a joint call with AD and JJ Redick, a call to AD's agent, Rich Paul, and a call to LeBron James here. So it seemed like nobody knew that this deal was coming to fruition. There's a bunch of other things to go over. I just want to get your thoughts on this quote first and just your thoughts on the trade in general. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's crazy. And no one knew about it besides Rob Pelinka himself.
Yeah, I don't think Rob Pelinka even thought about trading for Luka Doncic before Saturday night's game against the New York Knicks. I mean, maybe like, oh, wow, it'd be awesome if we got Luka somehow, but I don't think he realistically thought until him and the Dallas Mavericks GM Nico Harrison got on the phone and talked about it. And for Rob Pelinka, I mean, when life gives you lemons, you got to make lemonade. Even a lot of Laker fans give Rob Pelinka some crap, but he has landed Anthony Davis and LeBron James and Luka Doncic since he's been the GM of the Los Angeles Lakers. And now you get a player who's not even 26 years old yet. Arguably has not even hit his prime and has been a definitive top 3 NBA player over the last 3 to 5 seasons. And you only have to give up 1 first. Anthony Davis, which of course is a big loss, and even Max Christie, who's a very good young player, but they only give up 1 first-round pick when it took 4 first-round picks for the Timberwolves to get Rudy Gobert. I mean, I don't know how this even happens, Nick.
Yeah, I think most fans, obviously Mavericks fans, are really upset. Though I do think the Mavericks will be a fine team, even with AD. AD is a very good player. But here's some more details, and it kind of sheds some light. Shout out to Penn State basketball. He comes out and basically says, so what we've gathered so far from a lot of these reports is that Luka was willing to sign the super max with the Mavericks. He cannot do that anymore. LeBron has wanted to play with Luka for ages. The deal was pulled together over some days by elite power brokers. Luka, I'm positive, signed off on this. And while this presents a huge short-term, I mean, he's going to make his money back. It's LA we're talking about here. But the Mavericks approached the Lakers with this deal in large part due to their long-term concerns over Luka's health, availability, defense, and overall ability to lead the team to a championship, which is ridiculous. He's 25 years old and he just came off of a championship appearance.
Finals, Nick.
So, I mean, it makes 0 sense from the Mavericks perspective. Like, I understand technically what he was doing. And you can see here what the Mavs GM said on why he actually traded Luka Doncic, which, again, there's a lot of concerns being shed from the Mavericks side. I'm not too worried about it. There's been, he basically said, we really feel like we got ahead of what was going to be a crazy summer, him being eligible for the Supermax, and also a year away from him being able to opt out of any contract, Nico Harrison said. And so we really felt like we got out in front of that. We know teams, they had it out there. Teams have been loading up to try to sign him once that becomes available, which, I mean, obviously, he's one of the best players we've ever seen, I mean, in this generation. And also, he was willing to sign the Supermax deal, but they were too concerned about his conditioning. So I want to get your thoughts on this because now, I mean, the Lakers he's a UFA, or he's a free agent after 2026 now. So they have some work to do. They do need to extend him, but we're talking about the Lakers. I think they ultimately get this job, they get this deal done, and I can't see a world where they let Luka Doncic leave. But even if by some crazy circumstance he leaves, at that point, AD would have been 34 anyways, so it would have been still I mean, it's a win-win trade no matter what, but interesting comments there by the Mavs GM.
Yeah, I think he's trying to just justify his actions, honestly, because I think he definitely knew that if he was going to make a trade like this, that Dallas Maverick fans, and rightfully so, I mean, this is a guy who, ironically, the Mavericks fleeced from the Atlanta Hawks in the 2018 NBA draft when they're like, hey, not only did they fleece the Suns, who drafted DeAndre Ayton, the Kings draft Marvin Bagley. You have this generational talent overseas that everyone's too afraid to take. The Hawks take them, and they go, hey, we'll give you our 5th pick in the draft and a first rounder. And while Trae Young ended up being that pick and is a really good player, it's like, okay, like clearly this is obvious who won this trade. And Anthony Davis is a great player. He will be in the Hall of Fame too. But Luka Doncic, to get a player like this at his age, right? Like, we've seen the Lakers make trades where they trade for Steve Nash, who's almost 40, Dwight Howard, who didn't work out there. You trade for Luka Doncic, who has been an MVP caliber player And that line about the Mavericks, oh, they haven't won a championship. It's like they just were in the finals. They took down the Oklahoma State Thunder, who were the 1 seed. They took down the Timberwolves, who everyone was picking to beat Dallas. And then Boston was just the best team in the NBA all season long. Like Luka Doncic almost has single-handedly carried his team for the entire season, for his entire career. And oh wow, he has arguably the greatest player of all time in LeBron James now, who was his idol growing up to play with. I mean, and you want to talk about conditioning, LeBron James is probably the best well-conditioned player in NBA history. I'm sure he'll have a tip or two to help out Luka.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, they're talking about it's not like Luka has an injury he's out for months now. He should be coming back over the next couple of weeks. Granted, he does need to. I mean, there's been some reports about him not being in shape and stuff like that. LeBron will help him with that. The Lakers will help him with that. And I can almost guarantee you that's a bit of a scapegoat reason. There had to be some other reasons that we'll learn surrounding the Mavericks actually making this move. Their current stance on it is that they think they have a better chance to win right now with AD and Kyrie, which is going to be a bit of a scary team, but I'll take the Lakers 9 times out of 10 there. But you're talking about it here. The Mavericks approached at least one other team about trading away Luka Doncic, but that other team declined. Now, I'm very curious to see who on earth they reached out to surrounding trading Luka, because we heard that they specifically wanted Anthony Davis. Now, again, this is from Sam Amick. I'm sure we'll hear some reports about it, but I mean, if that's the case, at least the Lakers won, which wasn't a bidding war, which is crazy. There wasn't a bidding war on the go. And talking about the deal, Shams basically said the deal materialized in the shadows. LeBron James had no idea this was coming. AD had no idea this was coming. I'm told Luka Doncic is still stunned about this trade. So it seems like, and let's not forget, AD used he waived his trade kicker to help out a little bit. So he is it's very interesting now. He gets to go to the Mavericks where he has a lot of familiar faces. Nico Harrison, Jared Dudley also is over there as an assistant coach. There's a bunch of familiar faces there. But for the Lakers, it's they were looking for LeBron James replacement, and they found him while also keeping LeBron James for hopefully the next couple of years as well. It's an absolutely crazy scenario here, and I'm very happy about it. But these details, they keep coming out. I still feel like there's something that we're missing, though.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep you guys up to date here on Lakers Digest with everything that's going on, because there's so much going on. Even probably as this recording's happening, there's probably something going on that we don't know. So we'll definitely keep you up to date. But for the Los Angeles Lakers, this is a team that chases stars. This is what they do throughout their entire history of the franchise, and they just got one of the biggest stars in the NBA. And so this is going to be the franchise player for the Lakers for probably the next 10 years in Luka Doncic.
Yeah, and the biggest thing now is, I mean, for the immediate future, him getting healthy. And let's not forget this Lakers team, and you were at the game yesterday, they're playing really good basketball. Now, obviously, they can completely switch it up. Their whole team identity is different, but I want to get your quick thoughts before we wrap up here. They don't have a starting center right now. They have 0 starting center. I mean, sure, you'll throw Jackson Hayes, I guess, in there in the short term. Do you think, let's get a little Hunter prediction going here. Who do you think they go out and get over the next few days? We know more moves are coming. There's no doubt about it. We've seen it from Tim Reynolds. We've seen it from almost everybody involved. They need to make another move, and it's not even like a fact where, they have the assets to do it. Not only do they have the assets still to do it, they have to. They have no center right now. I guess you can consider Jackson Hayes, but I mean, at this point, he is not a starting caliber center on the worst team in basketball. So any quick predictions or thoughts on the center position right now? And I mean, they play again soonish, so they have to get it done hopefully before then.
I mean, they can go super cheap, try to get a guy like Jonas Valanciunas or Robert Williams, but if they really want to swing for the fences, get a guy who now fits Luka Doncic's game. That now you don't have to worry about AD playing the 4 or 5 anymore. You get someone who's a legitimate starting center. It's got to be Miles Turner. Yeah. That's got to be the guy for me. I think giving away the first-round pick for Luka, and they only have 1 first-round pick left. I don't think that's going to be enough to get Walker Kessler, but I think it definitely could be enough to get Miles Turner, who's also going to be a free agent this upcoming offseason, so they can get Luka's deal done. They can even get Miles Turner's deal done, and now you have a stretch 5, which Luka has really never played with. I mean, I guess outside of Maxi Kleber, who I guess is going to get some of those big man minutes, too, for the Lakers. Not a legit starting 5, but someone who can play the stretch 5, which I mean, the Lakers have not had in a while, and not under JJ Redick. So that's going to be another guy that Redick's going to have at his disposal, who is obviously also very familiar with Luka, as well as Dorian Finney-Smith, who played with Luka for a long time, too.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on with Kleber. He is, as of 2 days ago, out with an injury for now, so there's no timeline on his return. So there is a chance that they flip his contract back and trade it elsewhere, because it is a lot of money. But if he comes back, they did get a guy who Luka is very familiar with if he returns in the foreseeable future. But let us know down below what your thoughts are. We're going to keep you updated on all the latest news, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. See you guys later.